Hey, do you have any idea where Mom might be?
What? There's no way I'd know. Did she disappear again?
Yeah. Let me know if you find out anything. Will do.
Mom has always been a free spirit, even when she was younger. I want to help resolve this, but I'm swamped right now. I'm out of town on a business trip. That's when a colleague of mine came running up to me.
What's the rush?
Just got a call from the boss. Our trip's been postponed. Seriously? Yeah, we can head back now. Well, that's easier said than done.
It was already past noon. Since we were here, we decided to do a bit of sightseeing. Turns out, we ended up having a great time, and before we knew it, it was 4 p.m. We agreed it was time to head back, so we boarded the train. I messaged my husband that my plans changed and I'm on my way back now. No response.
Maybe he's busy with work?
After splitting up with my colleague at the nearest station, I hurried home. Holding a bag of souvenirs, I thought he'd be happy to see them. But as soon as I entered, something felt off. Shoes were scattered around haphazardly. They looked like they belonged to a woman. Could it be? I cautiously made my way toward the living room. There was no one there. Then, from the bedroom, I heard noises. Trying not to make a sound, I approached, and then I overheard a shocking conversation.
It's okay. Like I said earlier, she's on a business trip starting today, so she won't be coming home.
Curiosity got the better of me, and I slowly opened the door. What I saw was my mother, filled with desire. I'm relieved to hear that. That kid is always so busy with work, it's her fault for not satisfying properly.
It's thanks to that I can be here with a beautiful woman like you. Don't say things like that. Flattery will get you nowhere, you know? I'm not flattering you. There's no comparison to my wife.
I felt something beyond anger at the sight of them laughing together. I thought about confronting them right then and there, but I came up with a better plan. I took out my smartphone from my pocket and recorded their act. After making sure the video was properly recorded, I immediately sent it to my in-laws and my father. The two of them, clueless about what was to come, were thoroughly enjoying themselves. Both my husband and mother would pay for what they've done. That was becoming a certainty. My name is Kate Nathaniel. I'm 33 years old and work in sales and planning at a cosmetics company. My mother and I are not related by blood. My biological mother passed away due to illness when I was in elementary school. My father remarried when I was in the 6th grade.
This is Mary, who will be your new mother.
I'm looking forward to getting to know you.
Please take care of me.
My first impression of her was that she was as beautiful as an actress, with a perfectly arranged face. She was kind to me after that. Thanks to her, I think we managed to live without any major problems. However, I wondered why she married someone as ordinary as my father. The first time I got angry at her was in high school. It was when I brought my boyfriend home. For some reason, she sat next to my boyfriend and kept talking to him. And at that time, my boyfriend didn't seem to mind it at all.
Hey, Mom. Sorry. He's my boyfriend, you know.
Oh? Jealous? Is that it?
That's enough.
After that, I never brought a boyfriend home again. Actually, I didn't even tell her about any boyfriends. After graduating high school, I started living on my own when I went to college. It was very peaceful without her meddling. If it weren't for that, she would be a mother I could brag about.
Why don't you come home during your next break? Yeah. I'll do that. Then I'll be waiting.
Since starting college, I hardly ever went back home. But with less than a year until graduation, I decided to visit for the first time in a while. When I got home, only my mother was there, my father was not.
Where's Dad? Oh, he's on a business trip. I see.
While talking to her, something caught my eye.
Hey, what's that? That necklace. It looked unusual, so I noticed it.
Really?
Because you always preferred something simpler. It seemed a bit off for you. It was a gift.
Oh, really? That's nice. A gift from Dad?
Yes. From your dad.
I thought that must be a lie. My mother claimed to have a metal allergy, so she never wore jewelry. Of course, my dad knew she never wore jewelry, and as far as I remember, he had never given her any. The next day, when my dad came back, I mentioned it to him. But that was a mistake. In the end, my mom confessed it was a gift from a friend, but whether that's true or not, I can't say anymore. This incident made my mom start treating me harshly. A few months later, I graduated from college.
Well, then you better give it your all. I'm rooting for you. Thanks.
Just make sure you don't do anything halfway, Kate. I know.
Really? What are you trying to say?
Nothing.
All right, all right.
My dad seemed completely unaware of the strained relationship between us. From then on, I figured I'd just have to make my own way, without thinking too deeply about it. Life as a working adult was going smoothly. I loved my job at the cosmetics company. So much so that I barely remember anything else from my 20s. The turning point for me came when I was 31.
John, what's up? Well, there's something I want to talk about. Sure, but can it wait until after work?
Yes, that's fine.
John, who would later become my husband, was my junior at work at the time. He was 3 years younger, 28 years old. After work, I went to a restaurant near the station with John.
So, what did you want to talk about? Kate, what do you think about younger men? Younger? I think that's fine.
Really?
John's face lit up. Despite being a bit puzzled, we continued our conversation over dinner. I thought he must have someone he's interested in and was giving him advice. And then, as we were about to leave after our meal.
Guess we should get going then. Wait, please.
Huh?
John's expression was more serious than before, and he looked at me.
What's up? Would you go out with me? Yeah. Huh?
I hadn't expected a confession at all. The questions he had been asking were all about me. Is that a no?
No, it's not a no.
I found myself agreeing to date him, overwhelmed by his earnestness. I had never dated someone younger before, but it didn't seem so bad. As time passed, I found John's qualities endearing. It was like falling into a swamp. A year into our relationship, I found out I was pregnant.
Let's get married. Yeah. I'll make sure you're happy. I'm holding you to that.
Then we went to greet our parents. However, from that moment on, the gears slowly started to slip.
So, Kate's finally getting married. That's wonderful, isn't it, Mom? Yeah, with a child on the way, too.
I was honestly nervous coming here. Being pregnant before marriage at this age, I was worried about what might be said. However, what my parents gave me were words of warmth. They had no objections to the marriage, which was a relief. And then, when I went to the bathroom and came back, my mom was sitting next to John, chatting amiably, but with way too much physical contact.
Kate really found a good one, didn't she?
Oh, no, not at all.
You don't have to be so modest.
The scene before me was just like when I had brought a boyfriend home. My dad was there too, but he just smiled and said nothing. Was he really okay with his wife being all over his daughter's fiancé? I couldn't stand it.
Mom, seriously. It's just a little touch. Right? Well, Don't make John uncomfortable. Sorry.
After that, we finished our meal at my parents' house and decided to head home. On the way back.
Man, I can't believe how young and beautiful your mom is. I'm jealous.
Well, yeah.
But she's my stepmom. Oh? Really?
Huh? I never mentioned that. No, this is the first I've heard of it.
But it's nothing to worry about. She's family to me. Yeah, right.
I said that to John, but I felt a bit complicated. And, please, no more getting too close like that.
My mom is just like that. That's just being affectionate, right? No big deal.
Were you listening to me?
I confronted John.
All right, all right. Don't look so scary.
A week later, we got married.
So, what are you gonna do about work? I'm planning to keep working. I enjoy my job. Oh, okay. Yeah?
It's nothing. Just curious.
As my belly grew, John became even more attentive than before. That was a relief to me, especially with all the anxiety I had about giving birth. Then, I gave birth to a beautiful daughter. I hadn't planned to quit my job, so I was going to take maternity leave and have John help out. But then he said,
Actually, I've been thinking about changing jobs.
A job change? Now?
Yeah, now.
What do you mean?
Well, a friend asked me for help with a job. Think about it. We're gonna need more money from now on.
I guess, but still.
In the end, John was too busy with his job change, so I ended up taking care of our daughter almost all by myself. One holiday, we were out as a family of 3.
Kate?
Hearing my name, I turned around. There stood my mother.
Why are you here, Mom?
Just doing some shopping.
Oh, I see.
And John, it's been a while. Are you guys doing well? Yes, thanks to you, everything's going smoothly. That's good to hear. So, what brings you out today?
We're planning to go for our daughter's checkup after this.
Then, my mother made an unexpected suggestion.
How about, while Kate goes to the hospital, I grab some tea with John? Oh, that sounds good. What?
My mom and John seemed eager to be alone together.
Come on, we have to hurry or we'll be late. I know, but don't worry about us.
I went to the hospital with my daughter. The two of them disappeared into the crowd. After the checkup, which went well, I tried calling John to meet up, but he didn't answer. I called my mom too, but it was the same. I aimlessly walked through the downtown area. Eventually, thinking I'd get tired if I kept this up, I went into a nearby cafe to wait for a call from either of them. But even after an hour, there was no contact.
Hello? Where are you?
Where are you?
John finally called back after about 2 hours had passed.
Where's Mom?
She's with me. Let's meet up at the station.
I headed to the station as he suggested. There, I found them, chatting and smiling.
Where have you been, Kate? That's my line. I called you so many times. We went shopping after having tea.
Oddly, they didn't have anything with them except for their bags. It seemed suspicious.
Oh?
So, what did you buy?
What?
You said you went shopping, but you're not carrying anything.
Oh, this is because...
I could tell his eyes were darting around. Then, my mom quickly stepped in to cover.
Actually, we thought about buying something, but then we decided it'd be nicer if Kate was also there. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
Although I still felt uneasy, I knew pushing any further wouldn't make them confess. Afterward, the 3 of us went shopping and then headed home. At home, without my mom's help, I decided to question John again.
So? What were you really doing? What do you mean? Actually, I saw everything. If you're going to say something, now's the time.
Of course, I hadn't seen anything. I was just bluffing, hoping he might confess. Then, John said something unexpected.
Actually, your mom invited me.
I swallowed hard.
And then what?
I don't know how to say this.
Just tell me. She invited me for coffee. Excuse me?
Then John burst out laughing, holding his stomach.
What? Did you think I was doing something with your mom? Sorry, but nothing happened.
I was speechless. John had outsmarted me. He had been so nervous during the day, but now, he seemed like a completely different person.
But we couldn't get in touch with you.
I mean, come on. There's no way I'd do anything inappropriate with my wife's mother.
It felt like he was mocking me.
Anyway, nothing like that happened, so please don't think weird things.
Okay. After that, I never brought up the topic again. half a year later, I celebrated my birthday. John suggested we go to a fancy restaurant.
Are you ready? Yeah, all set.
Great. Let's go.
On our way to the restaurant, John received a phone call. He said it was from work, but they seemed to be chatting quite casually.
What was that about?
Huh? Oh, just some meeting stuff, let's keep going.
When we arrived at the building where the restaurant was, we ran into an unexpected person.
Why are you here? Just meeting a friend.
How about it?
Since we're all here, why don't you join us? Wait a minute.
I was looking forward to spending time just with our family of 3.
No, I shouldn't impose. It's no trouble at all. Today is all about celebrating Kate's birthday, after all. Well, if you insist, maybe I will join you.
Ignoring me, the 2 of them got all excited. In the end, my mother joined us for the meal. While it's nice to be celebrated, I couldn't fully enjoy it.
What's with that face?
Huh?
You look a bit down.
Ah.
I wanted to say it was their fault for making things turn out this way.
Maybe you're just a bit nervous?
I wished John would just keep quiet instead of saying the wrong thing. Then, more trouble arose. It happened when we were paying for the meal.
Ah. What's wrong?
Sorry, I forgot to withdraw money. Can you cover for me?
I was stunned. But I had no choice but to pay.
So, how much is it?
$1,500.
$1,500?
I felt like I was going to faint. Since I didn't have enough cash on me, I decided to pay with my card. Then, something occurred to me.
Come to think of it, couldn't we have just paid with a card from the start? Oh, yeah, probably. But it's too late now.
Watching them, I couldn't help but wonder if they did it on purpose. As we were leaving the building to head home.
Actually, there's a place I wanted to go. I'll come with you. It's not safe for a beautiful woman to be out alone. But Kate and the baby are here.
The baby needs to go to bed, so Kate, you go on ahead.
Today was supposed to be a celebration for my birthday. Yet, I couldn't make sense of what John was saying. In the end, I decided to go home with our daughter. But John didn't come home for a long time. I thought about calling him but then decided against it. I got home around 9 p.m., but John didn't return until after 11 p.m.
I'm home. You're quite late, aren't you?
Your mom just wouldn't let me go.
It was as he tried to pass by me that I noticed it. A faint scent of body wash wafted from him.
Wait a minute. What? There's a sweet smell, don't you think? Eh? No way. It's not my imagination.
I leaned in to smell again. And John, telling me to stop, brushed my arm away. His arm hit my nose directly. I sat down from the pain.
What are you doing? You're the one doing unnecessary things.
Blood dripped from my nose.
So, you're rejecting me this much because you have something to hide? Huh? Of course not. Just clean up the dirty floor, will you?
I thought it was unfair for him to say that after what he did. John showed no concern for me and went straight to the shower. I wiped the floor with a towel. My distrust in John only grew. And I immediately sprang into action. That night, not wanting to face John, I spent the night in my daughter's room. There was no greeting in the morning. Without a word, John left for work. Since my mother was a homemaker, I called her once my father had gone to work.
It's rare for Kate to call me.
I wanted to ask you something. Oh, what's up? About yesterday, what time did Mom come home? I think it was around 11:30 p.m. Anything else? Well, if I have to say, she seemed happy. But, wasn't it your birthday yesterday? Why didn't you invite me?
That sounds like you forgot.
Ah.
I really wanted to ask more about my mom, but somehow we ended up talking about something completely unrelated.
So? What were we talking about? I forgot. I'll call you again.
Next time, come over with everyone. We'll be waiting.
Got it.
From my dad's story, it's likely that John and my mom were together after that. The distance from the station to my house and to my parents' house is almost the same. And considering that scent, it's entirely possible they went to a hotel. I wanted to get some sort of admission from John. But when John came back from work, he did something unexpected. I'm home. Welcome back. I'm really sorry about yesterday. For doing that. Okay. I was taken aback by his sudden apology. I'll never do that again. So, please forgive me. Seeing John begging so earnestly, I forgave him.
But what about that smell?
That really was nothing. You'll see from my actions from now on. Honestly, I didn't understand what he was saying, but I realized he was determined not to cause any more confusion. Time passed, and I, now 33, returned to work after my maternity leave. Having been assigned some simple tasks at home during the leave, I wasn't particularly anxious about going back. That's when it happened.
I know it's sudden, but I have a business trip the day after tomorrow. The day after tomorrow? Isn't that quite abrupt? Yeah, but it's just for 1 night and 2 days.
Okay. Leave everything here to me.
Make sure you take care of everything, okay? Don't worry, I will.
Then came the morning of the departure.
I'll be going then. Take care. Yeah.
I met up with a colleague at the station, and we headed out of town on a bullet train. While on the train, I got a call from my dad.
Do you have any idea where Mom might be?
What? There's no way I would know. Has she disappeared again?
Yeah. Let me know if you find out anything. Will do.
I wondered for a moment, but looking at John's recent behavior, I doubted it was anything serious. I wished I could help resolve this, but I was too preoccupied at the moment.
Was that from work? It was from my dad.
You're close, huh?
Pretty normal, I guess.
After getting off the bullet train, we headed to our business appointment. My colleague wanted to stop by a convenience store, so I walked ahead. I heard someone calling me and turned around. My colleague was running towards me.
What's the hurry?
Just got a call from the manager. The trip's been postponed. Huh? You're free to head back now. But that's...
It was already past noon.
A mix of feelings, really. What should we do?
Since we've come all this way, why not take a little tour around here?
That sounds good. We wouldn't get to come here otherwise.
Thinking it was a shame not to, we decided to do a bit of sightseeing. Unexpectedly, we ended up having a great time, and before we knew it, it was 4 p.m. It was definitely time to head back, so we boarded the train. I messaged John that my plans had changed and I was on my way back now. No response. Maybe he's busy with work? After parting ways with my colleague at the nearest station, I hurried home. Holding a bag of souvenirs. I thought he'd be happy to see them. But as soon as I entered, something felt off. Scattered shoes caught my eye. They looked like they belonged to a woman.
Could it be?
I cautiously made my way toward the living room. There was no one there. Then, from the bedroom, I heard noises. Trying not to make a sound, I approached, and then I overheard a shocking conversation.
It's okay. Like I said earlier, she's on a business trip starting today, so she won't be coming home.
Curiosity got the better of me, and I slowly opened the door. What I saw was my mother, filled with desire. I'm relieved to hear that. That kid is always so busy with work, it's her fault for not satisfying properly.
It's thanks to that I can be here with a beautiful woman like you. Don't say things like that. Flattery will get you nowhere, you know? I'm not flattering you. There's no comparison to my wife.
I felt something beyond anger at the sight of them laughing together. I thought about confronting them right then and there. But I came up with a better plan. This might just work. I took out my smartphone from my pocket and recorded the two of them in the act. After making sure the video was properly recorded, I immediately sent it to my in-laws and my dad. Unaware of what was to come, The two of them were thoroughly enjoying themselves. I quietly moved to my daughter's room to avoid being noticed by them. There, I found my daughter soundly asleep. Despite being preoccupied with John and my mom, it struck me that they were engaging in such acts despite having a daughter. I quickly made a call.
Hello? Did you see the video? Video? Yes, I sent it to both of you. Just a moment, please.
After a brief wait, I could hear a scream almost like a shriek from my mother-in-law.
Are you okay? I'm so sorry. I was just so shocked. Is this recent?
Yes. And I have a favor to ask. I knew it was a lot to ask, but I requested her to come over. My mother-in-law said she would come right away and hung up. Taking a deep breath, I then received a call from my dad.
Hello?
I'm on my way now. Wait. What's the matter? Well, I did want you to come, but... After seeing something like that, of course. Are they still at the house?
Yes.
Make sure they don't escape.
Even through the phone, I could tell my dad was furious. Maybe I had misunderstood him all along. Up until now, my dad always seemed cheerful and somewhat absent-minded. But perhaps that was just a facade, and he was different on the inside. About an hour passed, but the two were still deeply involved. Just when I was wondering when they would arrive, my in-laws and dad showed up. It seemed they had taken the train and ran into each other at the station, coming together. They're in the bedroom, so let's be quiet. I led everyone towards the bedroom. Then, we could hear their conversation again.
By the way, is your husband okay with this? Oh, no need to worry about him. He has no clue I'm doing something like this.
My dad looked like he was about to burst in, but I desperately held him back.
Well, he does seem like a kind person. And you mentioned it was a remarriage, right? Did Kate tell you that? Yes. But you married him because you loved him, right? For you to say that. Well, let me tell you the truth.
Then my mother began to speak.
It wasn't because I loved him. Then why?
It's obvious, isn't it? For the money. He's good at his job, after all.
I wouldn't be with someone so boring otherwise.
You're really terrible. You're one to talk.
So, have you ever cheated before?
Once, a long time ago.
But he was so dull I dumped him.
I still have the necklace, though. My dad and I exchanged glances. We remembered confronting my mom about the necklace before. It must have clicked for my dad as well.
So, I passed your test, then? That's right. When Kate brought you over, I knew you were the one. How about we go for another round? You really are young.
There was no reason to stop my dad anymore. Bursting into the room, we entered.
What's this? What's going on? That's our line. Why is my husband here?
I called him.
You were supposed to be on a business trip today. Actually, it got postponed. I thought I messaged you.
John was left speechless.
You really did something unthinkable. To think our own son would do something like this. Even Dad and Mom? It's awful. We've been together this whole time. So, how do you plan to take responsibility? Well, that's...
What about you, Kate? What are you going to do?
It's decided. I can't possibly live with a scumbag like him. Well, that makes two of us. I don't want to be with such a low woman either. What? Come on, you think of me as nothing but a cash cow, right? I have no intention of spending another dime on someone like that. I don't want to spend another second in this tainted house.
John begged for forgiveness, clinging to me, but it was all ignored.
Now you show your pathetic side. Stupid son. You better be ready too. Wait.
We left the two of them behind and exited the house. I decided to take my daughter and go back to my parents' house.
I'm really sorry for the trouble our son has caused. Please, don't apologize. Let's think about what to do next, together.
Thank you.
Do you have any plan? Knowing those two, they'll probably come to the house. But we'll just turn them away.
Our son is not welcome to cross our doorstep after today.
It'll be tough, but let's support each other moving forward.
Arriving at my parents' house, my daughter and I felt at ease for the first time in a while. The next day was a holiday, so my dad and I decided to go out, something we hadn't done in a long time. Of course, there was another motive behind it. Just as we were about to leave,
"What are you doing here?"
Hearing that voice, I headed to the entrance. There stood my mom and John.
"This was all just a moment of folly." "That's right. We're really sorry,"
I quickly retorted.
"A moment of folly? Your affair isn't something recent, is it?"
Suddenly, I realized my dad was missing. Wondering where he had gone, he appeared from the back, holding a cardboard box.
"Never come back here again."
Then, my dad threw the box down. Items that appeared to belong to my mom, like bags and cosmetics, spilled out.
"Take this and leave. Consider it the last act of mercy."
My mom and John were frozen by my dad's fervent words.
Come on, don't just stand there. Do as he says or it could get worse.
"Wait,
Huh? You too, get lost. Oh, and that house is in my name, right? So, leave by today." I gave John a full smile. Startled, he quickly grabbed my mom's hand and they left.
What was that all about?
The real challenge starts now. Yeah.
Then, my dad and I went to pick up the divorce papers and headed straight to a lawyer. Luckily, my dad knew a capable lawyer. I had never heard about my dad's connections before, so everything about him surprised me.
This should take care of it. Thank you so much. Now's the time. Make sure you get everything you can. Get everything?
This.
My dad rubbed together his thumb, index finger, and middle finger.
I see.
After a while, I was able to get divorced. Just like my dad said, I claimed a substantial amount in alimony and child support. After everything they did, it was only natural. They deserved to see what hell looks like. And John, it wasn't just about this.
Kate, how are things on your end?
I'm doing well, thanks. My daughter and I are both healthy. That's good to hear. Oh, wait a moment.
Then my father-in-law took over.
Kate, don't worry about us over here. John came by, but we made sure he left.
Is that so? I'm sorry for the trouble.
No, don't worry about it. Thank you. Once things settle down, I'll bring my daughter over for a visit.
We'll be waiting.
Afterwards, it seems John and my mom are still together. They both ended up having to pay alimony, struggling because of it. Especially my mom, who hadn't worked in a long time, apparently can hardly find employment. Truly unbelievable. Meanwhile, I'm living happily back at my parents' home with my family of 3. My dad seems to really enjoy watching my daughter grow up. We plan to continue living happily.